Alright, still in North Ellsworth. Got a few more blocks till we get downtown. Huh. No road. It's like they got the ladder extended at the railroad or fire station to test or clean something. Copy that on the left. Yeah, I was surprised. I can't remember last. I did drive through East Palestine on the Sunday on Thanksgiving weekend, but I didn't go all the way up to the tracks. For a town of 5,000, it's a happening place, and there are people there that used to work with me on the railroad. I found out my supervisor when I got hurt lives there, so. I should ask them if they're giving rides. I just went to the recycling center yesterday to empty out the van, all the boxes in the house. My son, we got the cargo van ready for him to, well, that was one rusty Jeep. We got that ready for him to use. There's a subframe under the Nissan Murano we gave him. We didn't know it was a problem, but they just disintegrate into rust, and the wheels kind of went bow-legged. So Butech Bliss office on the left used to be Mullins. American Standard on the right used to be Mullins. So this Bliss went out, and Butech took over, and there's a big factory on the left here. They're really doing good. And I see like a guardrail or something on that camera, and I don't know where the hell that is. If it's maybe in the parking lot up here on the left. Oh, on the left there's like a yellow guardrail. Maybe that's what it picked up. Maybe it's shooting between the two Butech buildings on the left here and not the crossing, so it might just be to the left. So this is where the railroad station was. That the only damage in the 97 derailment was my office trailer and the train station. So he might have been like on the left here. There's just that building we passed on the left. They might have been seeing stuff through there. So the train was on fire, coming through here. I'd like to say less than a mile from the detector down here. And it's funny that somebody put 6901 on the hot box detector. Talk about nerd. 1/100th of a mile. So we're not seeing much traffic here. I guess it's Friday. Like Monday is the most pent-up traffic day, I think. So you got creeks and waterways all over Ohio, tributaries, and it's the Mississippi River watershed. So that's where all the chemicals are headed for, in the Gulf of Mexico. Wow, this place is busy today. Jeez. So the place is going to be up on the left. There's like a street light almost dead ahead. That car is going to be passing under it now. It's a security light. That's where the detector is now. And used to be another railroad running through this street here. So the trucks park out here. You got this meatpacking plant on the left. It used to be Atlantic Pacific Tea Company. Oh. It looks like is that mercury or sodium light they got up there. Okay. Just a little wire antenna they've got on the building here. And we came out this weekend, and they've got the old Dragon equipment detectors laying by the building. We're facing a little bit west now. Hey, here's something like a train coming, but there is a cement place over here. Our heavy equipment's working. Well, off in the distance, you can see flashing lights, which was a PBS antenna. Early 70s. It was named after our town. We had our own PBS station, and then it became Salem Alliance, Alliance Salem, and Canton Alliance, who were taken out of the picture. Yeah, I feel or hear a rumble somewhere, but I don't know what it is. So this meatpacking plant has Constantine razor wire looped around on top of the fence. You might be able to see it there if you're watching on the TV. And I put pictures of that up on Facebook a few years ago. There's the one coming back from Cleveland in Ravenna is a National Guard armory, and they just got barbed wire. I'm like, huh. Well, that's interesting. Bacon. Well, I'm not seeing anything. We can always come back here. So it says milepost. It's basically 69. Jesus, why they had to go 01? Anybody technical they would have fired. They don't like. They like the people that say, oh, things happen on the railroad. There's no reason things happen. There's a reason for everything. Lack of employees, lack of dedication, lack of skill. You're going to attach your name to a job or something. Make sure it's the best you can before you go home or release it. So like I said, they just lay the wires on the ground. We had to bury everything. They got hoses to protect them and everything. So, easier to fix. As long as nobody screws with them. So 2 cases here. You got the stainless or aluminum one. You got the old rusty one from our era. And it's the same in Palestine. Maybe one's working, one's not. Might have went new electronics and stuff too, and just they got funding to put the new shiny cases in. And the other one might just be for storage. So if you got something flaky going on, you stick your ass around and get a crew or engineering out here to figure out exactly what's causing something to go in and out. You don't just walk off the job. They seem to like those people, though. That's why they're screwed. So don't feel sorry for Norfolk Southern. We might be adopting a cat that the lady couldn't get back to her house that was stuck in that chemical mess for 4 days. It's a shit show. Now the Department of Natural Resources is stepping in, saying animals get sick. This can't all be related. BS. If you want a sound test for the water, whenever somebody tells you the water's safe, he says, okay, you and your family come over here, draw it out of my tap, bring your own glasses if you want, and you drink it in front of us. There's your water test. That stuff was leaking chemicals for days before they did that controlled burn. They did that, 3 days after the derailment? So I'm going to cut off here. I'm going to turn it right back on just for a break. We'll do a U-turn. And I'm going to tell tell you a story of what might happen here. Like I say, when I used to come over to the radio, and still got digits on here, and I'll make sure I got the other one turned up all the way. I could stick the other one on the mirror, but the antenna's a little long. I had it sticking where the cell phone is now yesterday, and it was working pretty good. So we got 2 radios. All right. Take a break. And that's just a break. I don't know if we mend them together or use them. I did video editing or whatever years ago. Now I'm just giving you the raw footage. Bloopers and blunders all included. Of course, if they're too bad, then I'll delete stuff. I just use the phone. I updated that Pinnacle studio stuff, but it takes like a half a freaking day to render it to something to get back on YouTube. It's not seem any better than what the old one was. So, just short of 69, because that's where the crap is. Here's the crossing box that we put in back in the 90s. This is South Lincoln. Should have used my blinker. I guess I turned into an old man. So you can see the railroads. At junior high school, somebody walked me out here on their bikes between the trains, and we went catfishing one day. What do we got? I got somebody's structure close to the railroad down here by the tracks. So if you've got land that joins up with a railroad, it's just not what you perceive. You got to get your property map. It's not a straight line or anything. We've had people have their garages and stuff on the railroad. And if you apologize real nice, I'm sorry, didn't know, and all that, they're really pretty cool about it. But if you raise a fuss, then you're going to have to move your building. And we're climbing up to Franklin Road. It used to be 558 when I was a kid. Now it's 344. Used to come to this kid's house when I was in grade school or junior high school, grade school, that we just passed on the road. He got hit on bicycle out here on the road up here. Another teenager ran over, passing the car, and they were walking their bikes up the hill over here. We're going to be going down. I don't know how many times I rode my bike out this way to go visit my sister, Latonia. So what we're going to do, that interlocking out on the west side of Salem, they did a cutover from the pole line to the everything new. Buried cables, all those new rustic boxes to the Salem interlocking to Alliance. And my position was down here at the bottom of the hill. And it was called Brownie's Junkyard, and that's all gone now. So I had the Jeep Grand Wagoneer parked down there. I had my Coleman stove, cooler. I wasn't into the cold cuts. I made hot food. And best location, entire week, 12-hour shifts. And I'm the kind of person that comes out on his own time. Check the circuits out. One track to light the signals, because they had wayside position light signals. One track had to be shorted out on a relay. The other one had to open up a relay, so it was 2 completely different circuits. So I've done that several times. You could do that on a rail. Couldn't do that in the aircraft industry. So it's a way to, you know, I know what I'm doing before you get to work. So this is where I was at. It was just a perfect location, and we had the painted boxes up here. Oh. That's what's left of Brownie's junkyard. So, and you can see the telephone line still there. So on the case here, they got it's called an H10 key to get in the case. They got a signal switch key to get into. There's a switch to drop the gates down for emergencies. So I was up here with my Jeep. I don't know if I was between the tracks. It seemed like I was on the other side of the tracks. I'm not sure. And the case was just around here. So we had signals. Sure, there's evidence of the cement post where the signals were. And the reason I'm mentioning this, they were using the office trailer in Salem as headquarters for the cutover. So, pretty good line of sight for radio signals and such. I'm not sure what the milepost is here without the signal being in, because they were all numbered. They could not reach me on the radio here from Salem. They said it was geography or something, because they were bitching out about me not paying attention or maybe slip. So they would have to broadcast over me toward Latonia, and they would relay a message from me or to me from farther away. So I'm wondering if there's like a strange anomaly here, because you just seen the hill we came down. You don't see it much on the railroad. But they could not communicate with me. And it might not have been a factor if it's just a mile back when I worked on there. But if the trains are going up to 2 miles. So the first report was it was a 150 length train with 50 cars derailed. And, you know, the ones that were all mixed in together with the fire are just lifted out of the way. The other ones, you know, they rolled them one way or the other to get things going. I'm just staring at what's going on here. They've really cleared a big spot here for something. There was never hardly any room to even turn your car around here. But I did manage to get my Jeep up there, put the tailgate down, and sit on the back. And the reason I got the scanners, I could listen to the other frequencies. Most low seniority people like me had the Lunchbox 2 Lantern battery radio, which had 4 channels. So, and wouldn't you believe it, there's no traffic today. Nothing. Huh. So yeah, there's remnants of the pole line that was in service. You still got wires hanging from there. They went to clad wires. People would actually steal copper lines. A lot of people didn't know that they run 440 volts down those lines to power stuff down the tracks. So the whole railroad's battery operated, plugged into electric to keep everything charged. When the power goes down, it's a unnoticeable switch to battery power. So we went from wet Edison cells And they last a long time if you kept them up. To a gel, they were gray colored cells. So they were about, what, 2.5 volts down the track. So there was a block here, like I said, when I was here. They run about 2 miles. They'll run positive, negative down the rails. When it comes to insulated joints, the polarity changes to the next block, so things don't get screwed up. Everything must fail safe, except for the freaking detectors. That's a 20-mile gap between detectors. Between Salem and East Palestine. So that little bit of savings and non-investing money in for, you know, to meet their budgets and to make financial investors happy, looks like it's going to ruin a whole town on the railroad, as it's a Superfund site now. So when the train approaches a block, shorts out the tracks, the relay 2 miles, 1 to 2 miles down the track will drop, lights the signal. The first block, you're going to get a stop signal because it's occupied. And then the speeds increase every block out of that. So it'll be a stop signal, then you have a restricting block, then approach speeds and all different kinds of stuff until you get a clear signal. So it's a way to space trains safely. And these tracks are, you know, before we got here and after we got here, all signaled either direction automatically. There's like no traffic. We might have to do this on the weekend or Monday. Like, what in the world's going on? So it's a junkyard you used to be able to go into. I think my brother came in here in the 70s for parts for his Ford Mustang. Had holes at the top of the fenders and stuff. My neighbor said that's when they dipped the bodies or whatever, there was developed air pockets that didn't get the paint. He had license plates riveted for flooring under the carpet, all kinds of stuff. $62 first car. It ran perfect. Well, I got nothing here. When it's a busier day, I'll come back down here, maybe, and make sure I got batteries, brand new batteries in this thing, or an adapter for the old scanner. So I don't hear any radio traffic now. But this is like it picks up better from behind me going east than it does from west. So I just wanted to mention that's a possibility. And you always heard, like I said, I haven't listened to this crap because, you know, I puked my guts up for over 11 years from a railroad injury. So there's a little animosity, but that's 26 years ago now. I'm just starting to come around. I still can't do a whole lot. But, yeah, it was a signal problem here. So what happened that week? This is paradise. There's nobody here. I loved it. I love being out in the woods or someplace by myself. That was the best part. I love working outdoors. They offered me an office job that probably would have avoided injuries or whatever. And, you know, I regret not taking that in Indianapolis and stuff, but I just feel stupid. But I don't like sitting still even before I was hurt. Now I can't sit still. I hurt too much to sit in one position long. So I'm sitting out here, and I made a mistake of going to what's Berlin Lake, northwest of here, water skiing that